3 weeks on from the most devastating flood in its recorded history, parts of Lismore still resemble a ghost town. There's no power, the shops are boarded up, hundreds of homes are empty, and the stench of decay is thick in the air.
It's heartbreaking to see your town that you love so much hurting so much.
2 in one and none in the other 2.
Lismore Mayor Steve Krieg's CBD cafe is operating out of a caravan. Business is brisk and there's virtually no competition. But the damage done by a second major flood in less than 5 years has left many people spooked.
I know people that aren't going back to South Lismore. They don't want to do it anymore. People won't want to go back to North Lismore.
Flood insurance is a luxury few can afford.
About 20 centimetres over.
For people like Will Nissen and Nikki Fitzsimons, it will be a case of clean up and start again.
There's really no other option though. It's not like we've got money hidden somewhere that we can just go and buy somewhere that doesn't flood.
And for those who decide to sell up and move on, it's unclear what their properties will be worth.
It's the unknown. Realistically, we've been speaking to a lot of finance brokers, valuers, and we're a little bit of an unknown.
Lismore is the regional centre of the Northern Rivers, home to a major hospital and university. Flooding is part of its history.
Much of Lismore is underwater this morning.
There's been massive evacuations made from the flooded areas.
The city's $21 million levy was overtopped in 2017, but this latest flood was almost 3 metres higher and 2 metres above the highest levels ever recorded.
The best part of 24 hours in the lead up to the flood.
SES Flood Intelligence Officer Ed Bennett says there's a worrying trend.
I calculated that the 2017 flood was the 1 in 35-year flood. But we've had 5 of those in the last 60 years.
You wanted to catch up on something?
Former Mayor and Chair of the Lismore Floodplain Management Committee, Vanessa Ekins, says it's not as simple as building a bigger levee.
We'd need something like from the Game of Thrones to protect us from the water that we saw in this event.
The federal government has promised $10 million for a Northern Rivers flood modelling study. The Commonwealth could also underwrite insurance, as it did recently in far north Queensland.
It's there now, it's a vehicle that we can use, and we have to look at that as well because, as you said, people can't get flood insurance. We've got market failure.
The impact is going to be felt regionally, right? And when Lismore isn't doing well, it really does put a bit of a drain on the rest of the region.
Lismore may now have an unwanted reputation as Australia's flood capital, but the community's ability to bounce back from a major flood only 5 years ago was remarkable. After the traumatic events of the past few weeks, that resilience will be tested like never before. Bruce Mackenzie, ABC News, Lismore.